next role we'll be covering is controller. These agents do an excellent job of zoning opponents away from already covered territory on the map. They're essentially the crowd control of Valorant. The next character we'll be talking about is Brimstone, a controller in Valorant. You see across the bottom here, Stim Beacon, Incendiary, Sky Smoke, and Orbital Strike. The controller classes have the ability to kind of take over areas that you already have possession of, and I'm going to use here A on bind again if we're on defense. It kind of applies both sides. I'll give you an example of all of the abilities that Brimstone has. First off, the Stim Beacon, you throw this thing down, it is timed after you release it. While you're inside it, the rate of fire changes substantially. Combat stim lasts for about 4 seconds after you leave the zone, and this thing gives you that rate of fire increase that, honestly, if you're at a corner and need to spray and cover, if you're trying to slow down a push, is pretty huge. So you can throw one of these things down and do a little bit of peeking in and out, and if you know somebody's coming around the corner, you just hold that corner with spray, and they're not going to step out. And if they do, I mean, they kind of pay the price. Incendiary grenade launcher, it's a zoning mechanic 100%. If you know somebody's about to try and push from the left side, you pop that bad boy down, blows up, and this thing lasts on the ground for a little while. Very clear, defined edges for what is and is not damaging, which is kind of nice. Just a quick note about this one. It does bounce. And the fact that you can see the bounce outline, if you take your time in a custom by yourself and learn some of these bounces, you probably, and this is just me shooting it off in the air, that's not a good example at all, but I'm sure you'll find a good one. These things can be used in pretty cool ways. You know, put these things in positions where they're going to take advantage of the crazy angles of the map. Next up, and honestly one of my favorite controller abilities, Sky Smoke. You pop this guy up, and the first thing you see, this is the range in which you can drop these all the way to the edge. You can put them all the way out there if you want. When you throw these things down, I'm going to drop all 3 of them so you can see a zone. Opponents see that as well. And the smoke for them will be red, but these things are like perfect spheres with a little smoke detail on the outside. If you are afraid that somebody's going to push up and you don't want them to, this is actually one of the spots that I like to do it if I'm on defense, or even more so, you keep them back at their area in the back. Those two will go down, and they're going to keep this back area zoned out, so both corners are pretty much covered. But these Sky Smokes are really cool. All you do, pop it open, left click to put it down, right click to engage. You actually can see down at the bottom middle, the little icons right there, they have the clicks up and they tell you exactly what they do. Perfect little detail to show exactly how to use them. And last but not least, the ultimate for Brimstone is insane. This thing hits like a bus. You have, I would say, probably about 2 seconds to get out of it. We're going to zone out that entire area right now. Let's say you know a whole team is coming through there. You have your ult. Boom.
Open up the sky. My ult's ready.
Anyone in there is toast. You can do damage to your teammates. Be careful with it, but I mean, if you have 2-3 attackers pushing up through here, you have them zoned. Maybe there's a slow, maybe, you know, a wall behind to stop them. You drop that bad boy in there, clip that, post it to Twitter. Easy. The next controller up, and my personal favorite right now, is Omen. On your screen, Shrouded Step, Paranoia, Dark Cover, and From the Shadows. Pretty clear on what to do with these. First and foremost, Shrouded Step, basically a blink. It's a teleport. You mark it a certain distance away, you can see very clearly where it's going to go. It does give you the ability to go up on top of surfaces. So one of the initial defensive lines right here, basically this line right here, is one of the shields. You can actually teleport up top. It's got a little bit of a cast time. You can put yourself up here and kind of watch for an initial push from either left or right in mid lane right here. Kind of a risky position to put yourself in, but an excellent example of what Shrouded Step can do for you in a pinch. Paranoia, the next one up there, instantly fires shadowy projectile forward, briefly reducing the vision range of all players it touches. That's allies and opponents, by the way. Shoot this bad boy out, boom. It goes through any walls, very clear. It's pretty much a big, it's like a big cylinder as it flies forward. You can shoot it through walls, so if you need to and you need to hit somebody behind it, very clearly it goes all the way through. Excellent for this. Actually, you can use it offensively too. So if someone is pushing over A side and maybe they're holding just behind this wall over here, you can boom all the way through. It's going to cover a large portion of the room, and if you do get a tag on it when you move in, easy headshot. It's a pretty easy kill right there, easy frag. Next up, Dark Cover is yet again another shadow mechanic, you know, a smoke like many others. On your screen, see that little distance bar? This is actually pretty sick, and this might be why he is my favorite controller. So if I'm moving over and I'm on, you know, maybe I'm defending this side, I've got an initial push, you can see on the mini map where the circle is, where it's going to go. And when you chuck it, see the little arrows right there? Make sure you're pointing it at head height or higher, because it will drop down onto that. And when you shoot it out, Boom, it's gonna pop. That bad boy will sink down, and it's gonna sit when it turns basically in the top half of the that top hemisphere is there. But check this out. I can also do things like this and check back over. If you see on the minimap where it is, then I check where the arrow is on my screen. Right there, I'm aiming too low. That's gonna be underneath that one right there. See how that little arrow pop back up? Right there, right in the center. This, and then you just whoop. That guy is gonna go all the way through the walls. And I have now smoked. I've zoned across the map for a teammate while I'm covering a different area. And this bad boy can go real far. This is all the way across, and I'm going to use the teleporter in the middle of this map to show you. This is all the way through the middle of the map. I'm going to go through to the other side over the balcony. I'm going to walk through this door, and that smoke is waiting for me. From the shadows, X, where do you want to go, bud? Because you can literally go anywhere.
My ultimate is ready.
Couple notes. While you are teleporting in at this point, if they shoot you as you appear, you teleport back to where you were. The other thing is, if they wait just long enough, the second you pop up and can't move yet, they can shoot you in the head and you die. So that really sucks. You got to be really specific about what you're doing with it. And the last and maybe the most important note is the appearance side. This makes no sound. You do have the indicator potentially on the map if you're nearby. You do have the sound when you're leaving. But the spot that you pop up has no signal. So you show up and you can pop in behind people's spawns, that kind of thing. That's why if you're against an Omen, make sure you're holding tab. Check where it says ultimate ready. If you know an Omen has an ult ready, expect that teleport behind and make sure you have someone covering your flank, because otherwise it might be there and get you. The last controller in Valorant is Viper. On your screen, already a UI change. You have the little bar, toxin bar down there that charges up over time. Snakebite, Poison Cloud, Toxic Screen, and Viper's Pit, which is insane. And you will see some clutches from that in the future. Snakebite, chemical launcher, fire to launch canister that shatters upon hitting the floor, creating a lingering chemical zone that damages and slows enemies. This is one of the coolest in the game right now. Puts out this little poison. Anybody that walks through it, they do take damage. Teammates included. You'll see she even did damage to herself. Poison Cloud, a gas emitter that throw the emitter that perpetually remains throughout the round. Reused to puff it back up. This is the smoke that Viper utilizes. You chuck it on the ground. It's going to pop up as soon as I hit Q again. You see the indicator down at the bottom.
Poison orb emitting.
There's your smoke there. You can move inside it, move out of it. It is just a standard smoke. You might think it's going to be poison. It's not. She can also hit Q to turn it off if she needs to, and she can pick it back up to throw the launcher again another time. It does use the toxin meter. You see it's filling back up right there, the bottom middle over time. Next up, the toxic screen. Throw this thing out. The difference on this one, though, if you look at the mini map, this is an arc that you throw out. And watch this. If I want to preemptively zone out A, chuck this bad boy out. And when I turn this on, that whole wall is turned on. Insane vision blocking mechanic there that you can use across the entire map. You have a map indicator to use. Only problem is, it uses a ton of toxin, so when you are out, it goes down, no matter what. Viper's Pit. Let's say there is a bomb planted right here. You've got two opponents left that are on the backside. Maybe they're defending, and you need to cover this to make sure nobody gets it. You hit X, throw your ult down. While you're inside this, you are generating toxin the entire time, so you can actually double up. You can smoke right there too, so you have layers. As Viper, they get marked. They get revealed, the silhouette, as they're moving around inside. So you have insane levels of vision. You have the ability to block vision from a distance. It kind of does it all. It's nuts. Viper's Pit is crazy. Viper's an excellent character. And I'm excited to see what people can do with her.
Use code Dr. Lupo. Use code Dr. Lupo. Use code